and Mrs. Swallwell.
Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Secretary. Welcome back. You were here on the Hill testifying yesterday. And, you know, look, I think you have seen over the past few days that my Republican colleagues have zero interest in border security. They have high interest in border theater and politics. These guys, if you want a dog to bark at cars that drive by in front of your house, they would be great at that. You should hire them to do that. I would never hire them to solve a problem. They're not interested in solving problems. In 2014, the United States Senate was very interested. Republicans and Democrats, Republicans like Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, came together, 68 of them, to pass a bipartisan comprehensive immigration plan that would put 20,000 new border agents on the border. These guys, Kevin McCarthy's crew, they blocked it from getting a vote in Congress. What would it mean to you today, Secretary, if you had 20,000 additional border agents on the border rather than a border plan that was defunded?
It would, Congressman, help us advance our mission.
How would it help you advance your mission?
Congressman, there are two elements that fundamentally help us advance our mission with respect to security at the border. Number one, of course, is our dedicated personnel. First and foremost, our dedicated, talented, selfless personnel who sacrifice so much each and every day. The second is technology, innovation. That is the greatest force multiplier, not just for us on the border, the Department of Homeland Security, but I've heard that from law enforcement officers in communities across the country. And I think those are two very important elements that advance the security mission.
And can you tell us about your respect for the border agents? And if you know, I'm sure many of them are watching right now. What would you want to tell them?
I'm extraordinarily proud to support them, extraordinarily proud to be in the Department of Homeland Security with them. These are individuals that every single day don a uniform, and I say this to law enforcement across this country. Don a uniform, pin a badge on that uniform, and holster a firearm to protect others. They're willing to make the greatest sacrifices in the service of other people. Shifting
gears to cyber threats, would you agree that China is probably the greatest cyber actor and threat as far as economic espionage, cyber espionage, and just stealing, cheating, manipulating?
I think, Congressman, that China is one of the leading adversaries in this space. I think that Dmitry Alperovich, a thought leader in cybersecurity and other domains, said it very aptly. We don't necessarily have a cybersecurity problem. We have a China, Russia, Iran problem. We cannot divorce the cybersecurity problem from the geopolitical challenges that we in this country face.
Would you have any concerns about legislation that would require U.S. software and device makers to put on their platforms, require them to sideload or include through interoperability requirements Chinese apps?
Congressman, I'm familiar with some legislative action in this area, and I am reviewing it. I know that it rests in other parts of the federal government, and I'd look forward to discussing that with you.
Secretary, I have a number of smaller civilian airports or non-commercial airports in my district, and we have a tech and biotech industry that continues to create jobs in my district, and a number of those companies are flying overseas to conduct business and then returning to my district, but they are not able to land at the airports in my district because there's no customs presence. Those airports have offered to pay to have customs officers there through a program that CBP has, but have been told that they cannot do that. And I was just hoping we could continue to work with you, and we have worked with your staff to try and make sure that that's possible, because that is jobs and investment. But if those flights have to go to San Francisco or Oakland Airport, it just reduces the likelihood that they would invest because of an inconvenience.
Congressman, I'm aware of the challenge, and it's not restricted to your jurisdiction. In California, I know that there are other small jurisdictions that have airports similarly situated. I'd be very pleased to address that with you.
Thank you so much, Secretary. And you should be very proud of your last name, and I know everyone in your family will too.
Thank you,
Yield back.
Congressman.
The gentleman yields back. Mr. Stube.